Right, should we crack on with the world of politics this morning?
A lot of people getting very upset about the Starmer speech, saying, I'm sorry to everybody. What was he trying to achieve by saying sorry so many times? And maybe there should be other things he's saying sorry about. That's the point people are making.
Yeah, well, maybe it's a valid one. I mean, I don't know, saying sorry for... I mean, he was saying sorry to Epstein's victims, but that doesn't really...
Why is it up to him to say sorry?
Yeah, it doesn't seem the sort of right thing to do. It should be apologising to us for appointing someone to a job who shouldn't have been in that job, you would think. Anyway, should we go to Stockton, because Matt Vickers is there. He's the Shadow Minister of State for Policing Crime and Illegal Migration. Good morning to you. Look, can we get straight off on the idea that Kemi Badenoch has called for a no-confidence vote? She said the Prime Minister's position is untenable. Why is she doing that, knowing that it's not going to get anywhere? It's playing politics, isn't it?
No, I think, do you know what? We've got to a situation where this Prime Minister, this government, appointed an ambassador to the United States, knowing full well that he had close links to one of the most vile, evil, depraved individuals to ever walk the earth. It was known. The reality is that this Labour Party, if you've got links to the upper echelons of the Labour Party, they'll turn a blind eye. They'll overlook such disgusting links in order to feather their own nest. It's completely unacceptable. He's shown a huge lack of judgment. He's shown, I think it's actually worse than lack of judgment. He's shown an inability to deal with the information presented with him in the best interests of this country. It's completely unacceptable. He's lost the confidence of the country. He's lost the confidence of his own MPs. You're hearing now, Labour MPs are absolutely furious that they were almost forced to walk through a lobby in support of hiding these documents, of covering this stuff up. If Kemi hadn't gone in there and battered him, this information would not be being released now. It's completely unacceptable.
But calling for a vote of no confidence implies that what you really want is a general election. You wouldn't be ready.
There's nothing more important than keeping your money and your identity safe online. And with so many VPN options available, choosing the right one can be pretty daunting. But this video's sponsor, ExpressVPN, is making the choice easier for GB News viewers. ExpressVPN is offering up to 75% off, plus 4 extra months free. That's top-level security from just £2.49 a month, and you're covered by their 30-day money-back guarantee. So just click the link in this video's description or scan the QR code now. Remember, when you're online, you are often sharing personal data, so hackers can steal your information, your passwords, your photos, and your bank details in just seconds. But ExpressVPN encrypts your connection, making it virtually impossible for hackers to access your personal information. So why choose ExpressVPN? Well, it couldn't be easier to use. With just one click, you are protected. And ExpressVPN uses military-grade AES 256 encryption, which is the same standard trusted by the US government to guard their classified information. With their new tiered plans, you can protect up to 14 devices at once and manage passwords securely. Live chat support is available 24/7, and it typically connects you in under a minute with a real person. Click the link in this video's description or scan the QR code to get up to 75% off ExpressVPN, plus 4 months extra for free. Start protecting yourself today with ExpressVPN.
We would, do you know what? The damage that's being done to this country, you look at what's happening to our economy, you look at the number of promises that have been broken to the British public, you look at, I don't know how many scandals we're in now, we're what, 15 U-turns, we've got a homeless minister who made people homeless, a blooming anti-corruption minister done for corruption, and here we are with a guy appointed to one of the highest offices who was found to have links to this sick individual, and Starmer's turned a blind eye. We can't go on like this. It's making our country into an absolute laughingstock.
Well, admittedly, but I mean, you're pushing a similar line to the Lib Dems this morning, who we've just spoken to, and they talk about, we need to end the soap opera which is this whole business going on at the moment. But as our two guests pointed out, and it's a very valid point, actually calling for this sort of vote, knowing that it will never get through because the Labour, Labour's never going to back it, are they? Most Labour MPs are not going to back a no confidence vote, knowing it's likely to trigger a general election and they'll lose their seats. So, in a sense, that is in itself a soap opera that you're trying to push through.
Keir Starmer is the Prime Minister. He is in office. He is not in power. He is no longer running this country. It's U-turn after U-turn. In the meantime, our economy is going to the dogs. 21% more people unemployed. That is people's lives. He is destroying this country. He is not running this country. It is an absolute disaster. We need to keep the pressure on. He needs to go. His own backbenchers are sending him a message now. It's time for Keir Starmer to leave.
If you did get a general election, and as Stephen said, I mean, most people think that's just never likely at this point. But if you did get a general election, do you really think the vast electorate out there would forgive the Conservatives that soon after they were kicked up the backside? And don't you think, actually, what you would be doing is handing the keys of number 10 probably to Reform UK?
I think the reality is we got an absolute grubbing at the last general election. Kemi and I both said mistakes were made by the previous government. We're out there now making our pitch to the country. And you know, when people are looking around at their lives now, they're looking at the fact that people are struggling to get a job. They're looking at the fact businesses are going to the wall at the fastest rate since the world economic crash. I said 21% more people unemployed. That's people's lives. That's their ability to look after their families, to live out their ambitions and aspirations. And when it comes down to it, we need a government who will be responsible with the country's finances. When you look at Reform, when you look at Labour, these are the people who want to remove the two-child cap, who want to increase the amount that's spent on benefits and welfare, while people in this country who work hard and do the right thing are paying more and more in tax. Those who don't work are getting more and more in benefits. Businesses are going to the wall. They need support. We need to start looking at people to solve their own problems, not looking at the government to grow in size, interfere in everybody's lives, and cost ever more in tax. That's what people will be looking for by the time of the next election, because our economy is already in tatters. We'll be there. We've got a leader with a backbone who can stand up and solve the problems that this country is facing. But
it's a valid point, though, isn't it? So soon in, 18 months in, after the Conservative government didn't tackle the migration issue, didn't tackle the cost of living issue, took us to what was at the time the highest taxation rate since the Second World War, and all the rest of it. Why would people then suddenly, as much as you say we're under new management, are you that confident that people would actually say, well, yeah, you're best to try again after less than 2 years?
There are three things that put up taxes in this country: wars, pandemics, and Labour governments. The tax threshold is through the roof at the moment, and the only people who are any better off are those on benefits. We're putting our pitch forward. We're the people who will be responsible with the country's finances. We've got a real plan. We've got a plan on how we'll deal with the borders issue. We've said we'll leave the ECHR. You can find the details. It's not a tweet or a press release. We've done the homework. We've got a real plan to get control of those borders, to deport those people who break into this country. We've got a real plan on our economy. We've identified £47 billion of savings. We've said where it will come from. We've said what it'll be spent on. But more importantly than that, we said 50% of all of those savings that we've identified will go to paying down that national debt. If you want a government that's going to come in, carry on nationalising things left, right and centre, then you should go with Labour reform. If you want a government that's going to ever go and increase benefits further at the cost of hardworking people across this country, then you should vote for Labour reform. If you want someone who's going to be responsible with the country's finances, who's going to get people back into work, who's going to make it worthwhile working hard and doing the right thing in this country, you need to look at the Conservative Party.
Well, we'll leave it there. It's up to everybody watching to decide. Thank you very much indeed for joining us there this morning. Thank you very much.